Well, hello there, beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Well, this is my review for Bel Air Season 1, Episode 8. Nobody wins when the family feuds. Shout out to Jay Z, okay? So, y'all, this is a pretty good episode. A lot of, communication going on. So, I'm loving it, all right? So, we get a little deep up in here, all right? So we start off when we see Uncle Phil. He is playing golf, getting his Tiger Woods on, and your boy Carlton, he on punishment. Okay, so he is on caddy duties. Unfortunately, he upset. He's like, "Why Will ain't on punishment?" I'm like, "Dang, Carlton, that's all you think about is Will. He's living rent free up in your brain, bruh. Give it up." But your boy Uncle Phil, he said, "Hey, Will, his punishment is on pause right now because it's his birthday. So cut the dude some slack, Carlton. Like for real, calm down." So they kind of get an update in regards to the party situation. So long story short, Uncle Phil cut a deal with the commissioner, the police commissioner, to pretty much keep the party situation hush hush, so no one would get in trouble. So Carlton, he is grateful, and your boy Uncle Phil, he was like, "I'm gonna do everything in my power to secure your future, son." So Carlton's heart, he was flickering and flickering. I'm like, "Okay, Carlton, you got some good news, so be happy today, bruh, okay?" Y'all, your boy Will and Aunt Viv, they are picking up Aunt Vi, okay? And your girl was flying private. I'm like, what in the Kardashian is going on up in here? Yes. Private? Private. Yeah. Aunt Viv was doing Aunt Vi some good justice, okay? I'm like, okay, like I was happy to see that. Like, do it big for your big sister, all right? So of course she's in town for Will's birthday. Everyone's excited, but you could still see like there's some awkwardness between the sisters. Like they couldn't even hug without being awkward. It was just like, doing like the little Kim dance when she was performing the Mobb Deep song Quiet. So it was like, are we gonna hug? Like, what's going on here? Whew, y'all, that was funny. So we see your girl Hillary, she's at the influencer house. She's, working on some recipes, and Kylo comes in and he was like, "I hope you working on the next big thing." And she was like, "No, I told my family it was a one and done, okay? I'm not gonna be doing that content anymore." And he was like, "Well, are you sure you want to do that? Because your numbers are going all the way up." So she was like, "I'll figure out another way to keep my subscribers, entertained and what have you." Kylo over there being a pimp that he is, okay? So we're back at the golfing situation, and Uncle Phil, he is actually shooting some rounds. I said shooting rounds, whatever they do in golf, okay? Sorry. But yeah, he is playing with the assemblyman, and he's pretty much wanting an endorsement. But he was like, bruh, you got your daughter over there thotting on the gram. You got Carlton over there throwing around parties. Your wife over there ghosting the whole campaign for painting. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to get your family in check because you're just not the only one trying to get endorsed. Okay, the whole family is under scrutiny. Okay, so the eyes are on the whole family. Yeah. So yeah, Phil, you need to get your stuff together. All right. So Aunt Vi, aka Will's mom, she enters the house and she's of course impressed as she should be because that house is very, very nice. And she was like, "Dang, I haven't been, in here." I guess she met LA. But she said, "I haven't been here, with you in LA since, the wedding. Like you were broke back then, you guys are struggling, and things have changed. Okay, y'all done moved on up." Shout out to George and Weezy, right? And so the sisters were talking, and so Aunt Vi was telling Viv like, Yeah, I think I'm gonna tell Will about his father. He's of age. I think he can handle it. And yeah, Aunt Viv was not feeling it. She was like, "Are you sure he would hate us?" And I'm like, "What is going on with Will's daddy?" Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Of course, we know he's a deadbeat, so called, but apparently everybody wants to keep it on a hush hush. And I'm like, what did this man do? Like, is he a serial killer, a kingpin? Like, let us sister know, because the suspense is killing your girl. Like, Jesus Christ. What's going on with Lou? So we'll get a text from Lisa, okay? She says, I'm in a pool house. So he goes into the pool house and she's all grabbing him, but just being real fast. I was like, oh, Lisa, you little hot tail behind, you all fast and whatnot. So they're all aggressively making out. And he was like, wait, I shouldn't do this. My mom just arrived. Like, let's put a pause on this. I was like, okay, well, you got, some sense about you. And so, long story short, he says, hey, you could beat my mom at my birthday dinner tomorrow. So I was like, okay, this is cute. But of course, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Lord, what is Carlton going to be? Because, Carlton, he's just a hater. He's just a top hater. Don't get me wrong. Will and Lisa are wrong for this whole situation, but sometimes the heart wants what the heart wants. So it's like, I'm kind of 50-50 on it, guys. Now that I'm really like feeling like they are just meant to be. But I'm like, oh, why does she have to be Carlton's ex? Annoying. Anywho, yeah. Uncle Phil and Carlton, they talk about Lisa's punk behind dad, okay? Fred. I hate Fred. I hate Fred. Just the way he be looking on the camera. Like, Fred, I don't like you. But yeah, he's pretty much getting Carlton abreast of the conflict. Since Fred's punk behind started to run, it kind of put them in a situation where there's two main Democratic candidates. And they're pretty much going to split the vote. So it's not really benefiting anybody for, that situation. So yeah, Uncle Phil has to figure something out, all right? And so we see Aunt Viv, she's being greeted by the rest of the family. And they're having a good old time in the living room, catching up, talking about social media. Aunt Viv, she's always hating on under your girl Hillary's comments. So Hillary blocked her. But on Vi, she is a supporter. Okay, she be up in them comments, liking it, like how y'all need to be liking this video. Okay. Please support your girl. Subscribe to my channel. Sorry, I had to get like real city girl ish with y'all. But yeah. There's a cute little moment. They started talking about grandma and how Hillary's recipes are from grandma. So Ashley's like, oh, okay, well, does she still cook or what have you? And so they're talking about, Big Mama and how she eventually fell ill and how Aunt Vi ended up being the one taking care of her physically. And Aunt Vivian was like, well, I was financially, helping take care of her. And she was like, if it was so stressful, you could have hired someone to take care of her. And Aunt Viv was like, don't be mad at us. We try to help you. But Aunt Vi was like, no, it's not the same as being there. And so it's always going to be a conflict in the family. You know how, if the parent falls ill, there's always someone taking care of the physical responsibilities and someone probably, is taking care of the financial responsibilities. It may even be the same person doing everything, but that can be very stressful when it comes to siblings. So that's a very real thing, y'all. Like, they touching on some things of the heart, okay? So y'all, we see your girl Hillary. She is fighting for her independence, okay? She is telling Uncle Phil and Aunt Vivian, like, I understand my little fatness situation on the social media is causing an issue with the campaign, but yeah, your girl is making some business move, okay? She's making the money moves, and yeah, I kind of need to continue this little ride, just to figure out who I am. And Aunt Viv is like, is this really truly who you are? You have to really think down inside and realize, like, this is probably not who you are. So it's a money thing. It's a moral thing. It's so many things involved in the situation. I really love that they're showing that because I think it's a real thing. Like, she's trying to be independent, not rely on her parents. Therefore, the way she feels that she has to make money is going against the grain of the family and who she is. But if she were to crawl back into that pool house, she may not have all that conflict. So it's a lot going on. I'm like, oh, y'all kind of hitting a little deep here. I appreciate that. But your Uncle Phil, he ain't happy at all. He is not feeling it. It's so tough, y'all. So Will and his mom talk. They're in his room and she's looking at everything, and they kind of lightly talk about Will's dad and how much he remembers as a child because he seems to have a really good memory. But Aunt Vi is kind of fishing, to see how much he really remembers about his dad. So we see Aunt Viv, she over there stressing, okay? All her edges is getting sweated out, okay? Because she has a deadline to get, this fellowship situation together. And, Uncle Phil comes in and he was like throwing shade. He was like, oh, you're painting for a read. She was like, no, I'm not painting for a read. I'm like, oh, violation. But yeah, your girl ain't been sleeping in the bed. She been sleeping in the art room, her little studio. Uncle Phil, he mad because she did not, back him up all the way when it came to the whole Hillary situation. But she was like, we don't got time for that because, yeah, Aunt Vi is about to tell Will about his daddy. And Uncle Phil was pissed off. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I need the answers. What is going on with Lou? Please. If you don't let me know in the next episode, I'm going to be annoyed, okay? Because y'all make it seem like this man is just the baddest news ever. Like, I don't know what's going on. So we see Aunt Viv, Aunt Vi. Lord, Viv, Vi, all these V's, child. But yeah, she is making this bomb behind breakfast right now. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds real good. Like, mmm. She had the little home, the little sausage, biscuits, eggs, grits, potatoes. Like, the girl was getting hungry. I'm like, oh yeah, cook it up, girl. So, the sisters in the family, they bond over breakfast. And, Aunt Vi was telling, the kids about their mom and little stories about how she was trying to be a thought at a D'Angelo concert. And, it was cute. It was a cute vibe situation. And, Aunt Viv was talking about no, Aunt Vi was saying how she bought Aunt Viv's first painting set. So, she's really just showing like, hey, she was very supportive of Vivian during her, her painting and, her passion. I was like, okay, being a good big sis, I'm a big sister, so I know how it is, okay? So yeah, Uncle Jeffrey. Oh, I said Uncle Jeffrey. Y'all know I need to go to bed, right? It's late, okay? Uncle Phil and Jeffrey, they meet up. And there's a few things on the agenda, okay? First thing, Jeffrey needs to set up a meeting with old Fred because him and Uncle Phil got to talk, okay? Secondly, long story short, Uncle Phil seemed like he was putting a hit out on Lou, Will's dad. He pretty much said, I need you to make sure that Will is not to be contacted by Lou. First of all, Lou probably ain't think about Will. Tired of Lou already, and he ain't even on the screen. Oh, trifling behind. Will is a good, great kid, okay? Like, he is talented, smart, handsome. Like, ugh. I'm getting aggravated, y'all. Let me stop. Okay. So you could tell, like, Jeffrey wasn't really feeling the second assignment. He's like, hey, I have a son. You have a son. Like, how would you feel if somebody tried to X you out of your child's life? And Uncle Phil was like, no, it would be too damaging to my campaign. So he has to go. I'm like, oh my God. Uncle Phil, you have a little dark side you want to share with us? So y'all, we see Will and his mom. They're doing all of the things in LA. Okay, all the sightseeing. They're on the boardwalk, Hollywood Walk of Fame, like all Rodeo Drive, like all the things that tourists do. And I'm like, oh, I miss LA so much. I haven't been to LA in a few years, and that's like my favorite place to go, y'all. And I miss it, but COVID and the violence, I'm like, ooh, no, I need to stay where I'm at, y'all, because your girl ain't got time for that, all right? So the Bel Air princess is prepping for her new video, okay? She's, trying to do something a little strange for a little change, okay? But yeah, she has some consciousness things going on, okay? And she pretty much kind of stops recording because she's not feeling it. She know it ain't her. That ain't what she stands for. So Hillary has a lot of internal conflict she has to figure out, y'all. So we see Uncle Phil, he meets with Raggedy behind Fred. And he makes a deal with him. He said, hey, we are going to split the Democratic vote. So let's make a deal. Whoever does best on the debate, the other person backs out gracefully and ends up, pretty much supports the person who won the debate. Of course, they shake on it, but of course, it ain't gonna go down that easy. Fred probably gonna be doing something sleazy, reveal something scandalous, probably about Will, about this whole, Rashad situation. Like, Fred cannot be trusted, okay? And he a cop, so he got all access to all of the tea, okay? So, yeah, Fred, we can't trust. He may need to kill Fred. I mean, I'm just saying, we killing everybody else. Kill Fred. At least we can move in now. Well, that may not work because we don't need no babies. She may, well, I don't know, y'all. But yeah, Fred need to die ASAP pronto, okay? So Hillary, she meets up with Cairo. Okay, she goes in his little office. He's over there editing all of the photos in the videos he probably done stole from every other influencer up in that house. Well, not stole because he is the pimp, aka boss. But she tells him, "Boo, I quit. Okay, I'm over this. It's not me." And he was like, okay, well." You're gonna owe me some money because all of the content that you've created since you've been in this house, it belongs to moi. So you need to pay me a kill fee, and that fee is $50,000. I'm like, ooh, how you gonna come up with that, girl? But girl, you didn't read your contract. Now, Hillary, you ain't like the old Hillary, okay? You smart. You is smart. And you just gonna go ahead and just sign a contract willy nilly. You was that thirsty to get out the pool house before you signed this contract? Oh yeah, she was telling Anvid, oh, it's free. And Anvid was like, nothing is free. And Anvid was kind of beating herself up that episode, pretty much saying like she should not say everything on her mind. But Anvid, like, you were right in that scene. Like, the girl needs to know nothing in this life is for free, okay? Except for liking this YouTube video, okay? Do me a favor, all right? All right, so Uncle Phil and Jeffrey, they are getting the cardio on, okay? They are boxing and, just having a good workout. So, yeah, Jeffrey, he tells him, I'm not feeling this new assignment, okay? And Uncle Phil was like, well, you work for me, okay? I signed your check, so I'm gonna need you to come through with killing Lou. Ooh, bars, y'all. I need to be a battle rapper. I'm a hot mess. And so, Will and his mom, they're at, I don't know if that's the Santa Monica Pier. It looks like it, but I can't be completely sure. But it really looks like it. It's some of the shots look similar, but they may be in another pier. But yeah, he pretty much tells her like, let's talk. I need to know about my dad. Okay, do I have characteristics like him? Like, I need to know. And that's probably so frustrating to have a parent and not know much about them. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, so many questions would be going on in my head. Like, I feel bad for Will. Oh my God. But she pretty much tells him, like, hey, your daddy was a scammer. He always had a get rich quick scheme going on. I always had to pay his debts, pay his loans. And I got tired of him using me. So, yeah, I had to did that. So I do feel like she was telling the truth. But there's more to it, y'all. There is more to it. And I need to figure out, like, what's the tea on Lou? What's the tea on Lou? Jesus Christ. So we're at Will's B-Day dinner at the house, okay? And so yeah, everybody's having a good old time. Jazz shows up, him and Hillary kind of make up, and I'm like, okay, I'm really feeling them. I mean, even though there's like a big height difference, but girl, just wear flats around him. It's okay. So Aunt Viv and Carlton, they're kind of talking, and she tells Carlton, like, yeah, when Will was young, he used to always ask for a brother. And he was like, that's funny because always asked for a brother when I was little. And, she was like, well, both of your wishes came true. I was like, yeah, because they are kind of like brothers. Cute. Anywho, Lisa shows up, and Lisa over here all the time. Fred, where you at? You don't know where your daughter is? Like, you don't got no tracking device on her? I mean, you as a cop, like, I'm just saying, well, I mean, I guess he got trust. Anywho. But yeah, Will introduces his mom and Lisa, and I'm like, Lord, where's Carlton? Like I'm always thinking about Carlton. Like he's living rent free in my head when I watch this show. Cause I'm like, Lord, Carlton do not need his little feelings hurt. We don't need him sniffing no lines, taking no pills. Like we got to be very careful around fragile Carlton, okay? And so y'all, it's gift time, all right? And this scene annoyed me. So Will opens his mom's gift, all right, and it's a picture of him and her when he was a baby, maybe a few days, a few weeks old. And so, Will asks like, "Who took this picture?" So of course they try to cover it up, but we pretty much figured out that it's his dad who took the picture. So Will opens Uncle Phil slash Aunt Viv's gifts, and it's a pair of like limited edition Jordan signed by Michael Jordan himself. Okay, and so of course that is costing the bank. Okay, and Aunt Viv, no, well Aunt Vi, she was like, "How much did that cost? You trying to show me up?" But I'm like, "Girl, don't get me wrong. The frame was a nice sentimental gift, but I would have been mad. I'm like, that's it, Mama. Like you flew all the way over here and." You could have bought me some Jordans too. Like you work at the hospital. You got some money, okay? Like, no. You had the nerve to get mad. She got mad. And Aunt Viv was like, "Oh, you trying to show me up?" Like, girl, you literally spent no money on this gift. I'm not saying you need to spend money on a gift, but girl, you brought him a picture frame for his 17th birthday. You could have got him a jersey, a gift card, a Foot Locker. Like, there's so many options out here. You mad because you bought a free gift. And then you want to talk about his daddy who took the picture. Anywho. So, that caused a whole controversy with the sisters, okay? And they're mad at each other. They end up having an argument and just being a hot ghetto mess at Will's birthday party, okay? And luckily, nobody is really there, just the family, Will's friend from the basketball team, and Jazz, okay? So it's not a big deal. But yeah, the sisters, they branch off. Will ends up talking to his mom, knocking some sense into her. And we see Carlton over there telling his mom, like, have you thought of things, from, her side? And long story short, Vivian is the younger sister, and Vi pretty much felt that Vivian kind of erased her from her life. She said, "Hey, you moved away, you had a family, and you kind of just left me for dead in a sense." And she's feeling like, "Hey, you're trying to do the same thing with my son." And Aunt Viv was like, "No, like you're the strong sister, like you're resilient, you are powerful. Like, what's the problem?" And I hate that because people think because you're strong and you're dependable and just independent, they just think that you don't need anything. And this is a really true dynamic. I understand it personally. So this is so real. But honestly, communication could fix a lot of this. Sometimes it's just the cards that we are dealt in life. But yeah, it's definitely cool to see this dynamic. But they eventually make up and have some sister time. So I was like, okay, cool. And so we see Carlton and Will, they kind of make up. And Carlton was showing a little bit of accountability because he was like, yo, Will, before you got here, I was the man, okay? I was the man at school, at home. Like, I didn't have to work for anything, but you came in, everything was so easy. That made me feel away. And, I'm like, okay, everybody is communicating up in this house. Okay, I'm excited. And Will was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Are you cool? It's gonna be static about me and Lisa because we together, okay? We gonna be together. I'm like, oh, you got some balls, okay? But Carlton's like, this hurt. Don't get me wrong, like it hurts me, but I already hurt her. Please don't hurt her. I'm gonna go ahead and bless your little relationship and whatnot. But yeah, do not hurt Lisa, okay? She don't need that. I already hurt her enough. And I was like, okay, that's very mature, you guys. All right. So, Will and Carlton was having this little meeting in a conversation in the foyer. So, Jeffrey comes kind of out of nowhere. He's passing them by, going to the office. So, he decided to follow Jeffrey. But before then, Jeffrey had a little note or an envelope, and he was about to place it on Uncle Phil's desk. but Will came in, so he placed the envelope back in his suit jacket. And Will was pretty much asking Jeffrey to help him find his dad. And so Jeffrey was like, well, that's kind of a tall ask, my boy. Like, that's maybe a little risky. But he was like, I'm going to see what I can do. And the episode goes off, okay? So I believe that Jeffrey was about to sign or give Uncle Phil his resignation letter, because he was just dealing with so much conflict with the whole Lou thing. He probably couldn't go, through with hurting Will's dad. And I'm like, oh my God, now he pretty much seems like he's recanting. Well, not even recanting because he didn't technically resign, but it looks like he's going to hold off and quitting and help Will in a process. So I'm like, oh, this is going to get juicy. And this is episode 8. So I'm like, are they going to uncover all of this in the next 2 episodes? Are they going to leave us on a cliffhanger? Like, my little Hort can't take it. So y'all need to figure this out, because I can't wait a whole year for season 2 to figure out, who is Blue and what he got going on. Okay. The streets need to know. I need to know. Okay. But you guys, thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and let me know how you feel about this episode. Okay. But your girl is loving this show. Okay. Well, until next time, you guys, enjoy the rest of your week. See you next time. Bye bye.